aquí?
La típica rutina es que es bien problemático parquearse aquí porque no tenemos parking donde vivimos o los edificios no tienen un parqueadero, entonces tenemos que buscar en la calle.
Parking is a mess here. I hate parking here. It takes hours to find a good spot.
A veces hasta media hora, una hora dando vueltas y no encontrar, y es un poco frustrante y estresante, ¿no? A la vez también, y pues uno tiene que llegar a descansar.
We typically spend our Tuesday mornings outside waiting for street cleaning for 3 hours.
Things get really ugly on the days that they're street sweeping because half the parking is missing or not available, and so it just becomes that much more challenging.
Mi rutina típica es dar vuelta y vuelta como una hora o 2 horas.
Well, this hour I'm about to move my car. Seems like they cleaned the street today, so we need to look for a spot to where to park the car. So let's see if I can find a good one. Let's see.
Sometimes people will save parking spots for friends or family members who are working during the day.
Everybody's competing. Sometimes people they save spots.
In order for me to have parking here and right after I come out of work, I kind of have to save parking for one of my cars, so I don't really use all of my 3 cars. 2 of them I use them to save the parking, just simply because that's, you know, kind of like a way of doing it here with parking due to the current situation with it. So I only utilize one. We carpool in one, and then we use the other ones to save parking.
En mi caso, por ejemplo, tengo 3 carros, tengo que mover uno y dejar 2, porque si no cuando vengo ya no encuentro parking.
It's played a role in my life, you know, and it's been a sacrifice.
I see neighbors getting into scuffles about parking because there's not enough parking.
Hay gente que hasta nos quiere golpear. Se pelean por los estacionamientos. Un día yo me paré y dije, bueno, en lo que da vuelta mi esposo, aquí le aparto el parking. Bueno, una señora me quiso aventar el carro.
I think that there are a lot of costs to the parking issue that people don't calculate into, like, the quality of life for residents in this community. How often we're sitting in our cars waiting for the street sweeping to end so we don't get a parking ticket. How many times our car has been towed.
Es un problema porque llega la gente estresada del trabajo, cansada, y lo que quiere es llegar a la casa a descansar, y batallar mucho tiempo para encontrar parqueo es difícil.
You're missing out on time with your kids, with your family. You're just losing out on hours of your life for nothing.
Mejor voy caminando porque no quiero mover el carro. Entonces no muevo el carro para no perder mi estacionamiento. Porque sé que si lo muevo, ya no voy a encontrar ningún estacionamiento cuando venga. Y sí nos ha impactado mucho.
Driving around, using up your gas, their environmental costs.
In my building, we only have limited spaces for washer and dryer, and so I got to double park in order to put clothes into my car to make sure that we can get to the laundromat. And every single time there is parking enforcement coming over and giving me a ticket for doing that very thing. And when I tell them, hey, this is the situation, can you please give us all grace and flexibility, they say it's not my fault, it's your fault, you double parked, and so that is the law, you get a ticket. How ridiculous is that?
Some of the families in our neighborhood cannot afford these things. They can't afford the parking tickets that are upwards of $100 for, parking in a particular zone, or $75 for leaving your car on the street during street sweeping. People can't afford to get their cars back when they've been towed. This is a predominantly immigrant community, very low-income families. When you're talking about residents who have that profile, this is an additional tax on them.
Well, this area here is, they're gonna cut soon, clean the street. So everybody's gonna get ready at 10, to move all their cars. Or they're gonna get a ticket.
Most of us own more than one car.
Yo tengo
2 camionetas porque se me descompone una por mi negocio. Tengo forzosamente que tener otra para poder acarrear mi mercancía.
One of them is like for my job. The other one, it's actually my wife. She already had it before she moved in. And then I have a truck. That one I utilize it for like a side business.
We have a very old housing stock. The building that I live in was built in like the 19-teens. So that was of course before cars were an actual thing. People didn't have cars at that time. And the fact that we decided as a city to not prioritize public transportation and push people to rely heavily on personalized vehicles, I think that's one of the major contributing factors.
Yo pienso de que habemos mucha gente aquí y ya no cabemos.
Population density. There are so many people who live in this neighborhood that there aren't enough parking spots to go around.
El lugar, ¿no? De que ya está muy saturado de... No hay espacios, pues, no hay espacio.
The people that we have living in the area, a lot of them are minorities. They don't know the resources.
People are afraid to move from this place because it's economical for them, and everything else around it seems to be a little bit higher prices. The problem getting bigger and bigger. We're above, almost 5 blocks from home. Let's see if I fit. It's too small.
La responsabilidad es de la ciudad, ¿no? Más que nada.
I believe that the city is responsible.
Los responsables de solucionar ese problema es tanto la ciudad como los vecinos que vivimos aquí.
Pagamos nuestros impuestos como se debe, de lo que sea, de nuestro propio carro, entonces la ciudad tiene la responsabilidad.
I think oftentimes kind of city officials or city planners try to think about things like parking, but people and residents actually have a lot of say, I think, in terms of how the system works.
Si los dos trabajáramos en conjunto sería más fácil y más probable que cambie.
I do not believe that there's been any investment in trying to address these parking issues over the past 15 years that I've lived here. It's been exacerbated.
Is because it makes the city money.
The financial cost of the parking tickets, of the cars being towed.
We know it's a business. We know that people are making money off this. Not only that, in our same neighborhood, we get TV and film productions coming around here making movies.
This is a highly filmed area in the city of LA, and so there are often times where film companies come and they're able to buy the street, literally, right? They pay the city to be able to use the parking on the street. We don't have any parking already, so then residents have whole blocks that are taken for days at a time.
And so we know, right, that the city makes money off this, right, on the backs of residents.
Yo pienso que esto no lo han podido controlar porque la gente no habla, se queda callada, quizás porque tenga miedo. Pero más que nada yo digo que es porque no hay unión. El unión hace la fuerza.
Pienso que puede cambiar esa situación acerca del parqueo. Si la gente se une y hacemos lo posible para que...
There's many ways that this whole problem could be solved.
Removal of the parking meters would be a great start.
If they were to issue permits, we'll be able to find parking more accessible.
If the police department can actually, they have a huge parking lot right here, so that's private to only their vehicles, and so maybe they're going to open that up for vehicles to come in, for the neighborhoods or the neighbors to be able to park there. There's also empty lots around here, and so if there's a possibility that they will also work with the owners to allow people to park in those lots.
At least in the evening, it may make sense for the city or the building owners in the community to get some kind of memorandum of understanding or some kind of contract is to see if residents can park or have temporary parking for at least the nighttime. It seems like there's a real opportunity here to have maybe some public-private partnerships. For a long time, nothing has been done, right? And we've seen the escalation of tensions between residents.
pues las consecuencias ya se están viendo, se pelean, le gritan a uno y se seguirá viendo esto y quizás peor, porque cada vez está peor, más carros, menos estacionamientos.
And I think if we don't address this issue, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse over time, and we won't actually fully know the consequences.
I think what's going to end up happening is gentrification is going to end up pushing people away, and that's probably going to end up solving the problem.
Here. So if you park here, you'll have to come back. Yeah, I have to come back and move from here because the trail, they're gonna do the same thing. They're gonna clean the street too as well. Yeah, you have to be like about 5 blocks from home, you know, trying to look for a secure area.